All right. Dirty Sports episode 893. We are live on YouTube in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Los Angeles, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Morning, Joseph.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Good.
What's going on? How's the fifth grade basketball team? I feel like we haven't talked a lot about the fifth grade basketball team this year. You guys just and whatever? Is that why they're not? Is this Bandy Andy? Is this more of the Bandy Andy?
So we had a preseason tournament. We went 1-2 in. We've started the year 0-2 in the regular season. I've been getting very frustrated.
You bought a jersey of Zach Taylor's kids team.
I did not do that, but I was frustrated last week because not at our boys. I'm frustrated at myself. And I told my buddy I coach with, I said, they're just not ready to play, man. And that's on us. And I take full blame. I said, every single game, it takes them a half. And in the second half, they're like a different team. They're like a completely different team every game, second half. And to me, I have to figure out psychologically how to get a bunch of 10 and 11-year-old boys ready to play because they're not ready. And they go out in the court and it's like they're on edge or they're anxious. And then by the third and fourth quarter, like we're a really good team.
Well, Andy, you're working with younger kids, and I worked with when I coached baseball. But let me tell you what my strategy would be in this situation, because I essentially treated my high school baseball players as if they were fifth graders.
Okay.
I treated them with that level of respect for their intelligence. I played a lot of head games with them. I'd start your second team next game. Just right before game. What do you mean these kids trying? And it's like, just throw them off kilter. You know what I mean?
So we only have 8 kids and already 2 games we've only had 7. So, you know what I'm saying? Like second team, you're still going to have a lot of the starters.
Yeah. But I'm saying, take your best kid, bring him off the bench, do the Jamal Crawford with him, but leave him down there for 3 minutes. Just play a little mental games. Maybe comes in ready to go. Maybe he's antsy. Maybe he's itching. Maybe he's clawing at his cage. Maybe he's bucking at his gate just to get in the game. Comes in.
So what's the advantage? Like, what's the psychological advantage of that?
Just like if they start slow, then they're in some sort of weird rhythm where they just like, they don't have yet. So just throw a firecracker into the locker room. Just like, well, if it doesn't really matter who's playing, we're going to start slow anyway. Why don't I try to ignite a little fire by just messing with their heads a little bit? My favorite thing to do, and I couldn't do it too often because then it became like a thing. But like when you warm up for a high school baseball game, you take infield, outfield. The one team goes and then you go. And a lot of times if I felt like they were just if I felt like we were going to start slow, if I felt we were like sluggish, really wasn't even about how they took infield, outfield. Midway through the thing, I'd just be like, we're done. And then I'd walk away. I would basically like announce it quietly but loudly to the catcher. We're done. That's it. I'm not going to do it anymore. And then I'd walk away. And then the infielders and outfielders would slowly figure out what was happening. And now the other team's wondering why we're leaving the field early. And now these kids are kind of jogging off with embarrassment. And I would just be like, listen, guys, if we're just going to like come out here and half-ass it, then like what? I'll save my energy too. I got a lot of sunflower seeds to eat. And then they'd be like, oh, they'd turn up.
I get that, but like for me, it's not even half-assing it. It's like they get in there and they forget so our last game, we put the best team in the league, the team that's been the best for the last few years. We were losing at halftime. We're missing layup after, like we couldn't We're losing 17-0, 0. We had a goose egg at halftime. Joe, the second half, we score 13, they score 10. So like it's literally night and day. And I was trying to tell the kids that. I said, guys, we straight up won the second half. You guys had 0. Like what happened between the first half and the second half where suddenly you're making moves? You're not scared to shoot. You're playing great defense. I'm like, this is every game with you guys.
These kids are at home. They're playing their video games. They're doing their thing. They get there and they're just not snapped in from the opening tip. And then so by the time they lock in, yeah, they're figuring it out. But you got to do something that jolts them out of their regular state of mind.
I asked the one kid, I asked him, I'm always like small talk with him. I'm like, so what'd you guys do last night? What'd you guys have for breakfast? Did you guys get any sleep? The one kid tells me for one of our recent games, I had a massive burrito, and I'm like thinking in my head, see, that's not what I want to hear. You had a big burrito before a basketball game?
Yeah. They're kids. Their diet's the least of your trouble. I used to pound McDonald's before high school basketball games. I was mostly resting for the first half, but
it's the Ocho Cinco method.
Yeah.
Look, I understand they are kids, and I get that. Like I try to make an analogy this week, and if they seem to get it, we'll see if it works. I said the big thing is ball movement, right? Just continue to move the ball. And I said, guys, when we move the ball, we have 2 of the biggest guys in the entire league. I said, if we move the ball, we get these guys easy looks down low or off a screen and roll, the high post. I said, what happens to sharks when they stop swimming? Well, here's what I did. First, I said to the kids,
they sleep.
I said to the kids, who likes sharks? And I knew that would get them. Like all of the 7 kids at practice, 6 raised their hand. So I said, okay, what happens to sharks when they stop swimming? One kid yells out, they die. I said, exactly. I said, so our ball movement, we're sharks, dude. Like I'm trying to break it down to a 5th grade level. We're sharks. We need to continue to move the ball because if we stop, like a shark stops, he dies, our offense dies. So I said, anytime you look over and see me doing this on the sideline, that's just a fin. It means continue to move the ball. I know you're laughing, but again, we got to get on their level.
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, exactly.
Start playing Fins as your warm-up song.
So I continued it and I said,
it's actually a very famous live version of Fins from Cincinnati, Andy.
That I should play.
Yeah.
So
my least favorite Jimmy Buffett song. That's when I go get a beer.
Okay.
But you should play it.
Got to take a dig, of course. So I continued the shark analogy with the boys, and I said, and when you continue to move the ball, that's when we attack like sharks, and then we kill our prey with points. And the one kid goes something like, oh, let's get a little kind of graphic, coach. Like the gamer on our team. There's always a gamer, right? I don't know. So we'll see. Hopefully we have a game Saturday night, 8 p.m. prime time. I think Jay Villas might be calling it. Maybe Dick Vitale. Maybe we'll get some NBA guys. I don't know. Hubie Brown. But
maybe get Bill Walton. Here they are again. There's been a lot of talk of sharks in their locker room all weekend. I heard Coach Andy Ruther told these kids a lie about sharks dying if they stop swimming. That's actually just them sleeping. They're not dead. Everybody gets a chance to rest. I rested on the bench of the 86 Celtics, but when I got in the game, I was a shark.
Yeah, I would love Bill.
Kevin McHale was a shark, and I was just that little thing that rests under a shark and eats the food that comes off it. I would just come in the game and take the scraps.
Remora, that's what those are called.
God bless you, Andy Ruther.
I know some things
I would always say, Kevin McHale, throw it down and I'll have the leftovers.
Oh, man. Have you been watching NBA?
I have. Watched the Knicks game last night. Watched Julius Randle hold the ball for 23 and a half seconds at the final play of regulation, standing alone outside the 3-point line. I thought my controller had frozen. Like, this guy's just standing there. Finally, ISO shot. I've said this since All-Star break 2021, Julius Randle thinks he's the Knicks star player who should have every final shot. I haven't seen one go in. Thankfully, they get to overtime, and Jalen Brunson takes over. Knicks win. Knicks won 5 straight.
How's Brunson been playing?
Great.
Like, when you say great, does that make you change anything concerning his contract?
Well, the thing about his contract is that, I have mixed feelings about his contract. One is it's not like it pays him in the top 3 point guards in the league or anything like that. He's still like a middle of the road point guard in terms of money. But I don't mind paying a premium for him to get him on the team. The problem is, again, I've talked a lot of financials about the New York sports teams lately. Unlike the New York Mets, the New York Knicks have a salary cap. The New York Knicks can only spend so much money. And it's why, if you go to my Twitter from last night after that disgusting final possession of regulation, I said, trade Randall. That's it. That's the sentiment on the team these days. It's like, yeah, they're playing well and Julius Randle's playing well, but you just can't. This team doesn't have a star, like a real star. Jalen Brunson's going to be a nice second player for somebody. Julius Randle's playing really well, but he's not the guy that can take that final shot for you. So the Knicks' financial situation is you've got to make room for a star.
Yeah. We haven't even talked much NBA, obviously. We haven't even talked about the Pelicans.
No.
Like, is that a huge surprise how they're starting?
I mean, I think it's a huge surprise because Zion's been so good.
Yeah, I was going to say the Zion thing is probably a surprise.
And not that people didn't think he would be a great player. Obviously, everybody projected him to be a great player. I think he's obviously making that team go right now. I loved, obviously, the addition of my boy CJ last year and then making moves to build a team around a Zion. Like, I like the idea of saying we're going to build around a guy, even though we're not sure what he's capable of doing, because we've got him. He's, we just drafted him a couple years ago and it either works or it doesn't. So the fact that they build around him and now he takes form the way that they were hoping he would. Great. That's forward thinking.
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh no, we've got to freak out. He's not playing. Like, because you're stuck with him anyway. Let's say he ended up continuing to be hurt or whatever. No team's going to want to take an always hurt. So you got to build around him as if he's going to be the player you thought he was. And they did. So, and it's come together.
They have, correct me, right, if I'm wrong. The Pelicans, they have the former GM from the Cavs.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
I think that's right. I'm not really.
Is he the same GM who put together the title team?
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it seems like they've made the right moves.
No, actually, looks like
it's not.
No, it's Trajan Langdon, Alaska's own.
Trajan Langdon is the GM? Did they fire?
According to Google, I'm not really up on their GM situation.
Trajan Langdon. So they had, who was the old one? Was it
David Griffin?
That was it. Right? Because he was the GM. Yeah.
He's the vice president of basketball operations.
So he's still there.
Looks like it.
Okay. Because I knew he left the Cavs and went to the Pelicans. Trajan Langdon, man. That's a nice little throwback.
Yeah.
He's got to be the best basketball player out of Alaska, right? Like, who else has come from Alaska?
I feel like there's been a couple guys over the years, but yeah, he's probably, he was the Duke.
Like, where do you play ball in Alaska?
Inside. Andy.
Inside.
Although actually, when I was in Alaska, I took a walk. The first time I visited Alaska, I took a walk. And one of the first things I saw was this awesome basketball hoop pinned up to the side of like a fucking dope looking tree that they cut down to like 10 feet. So like the stanchion of this glass hoop. It's probably Trajan Langdon's childhood home or something like that. But they had a serious glass backboard. Somehow, tied, screwed, whatever it into this awesome. I don't know. I'm not a fucking tree guy, but like some sort of cool ass old looking tree that they cut down to like 10 feet.
I thought they just had grizzly bears hold up a hoop because grizzly bears are tall, right?
Yeah.
What's in Alaska? Is it grizzly bears?
Sure. And you know what happens if grizzly bears stop walking, right? They die.
He dies. Am I incorrect on the shark thing? I thought I was correct. Did I make up a complete lie to a bunch of fifth graders?
I mean, sharks just aren't like awake forever, right?
No, I'm telling you.
They swim in their sleep.
Okay, so while most sharks will be 100% fine if they stop swimming, a few iconic species such as the great white, whale sharks, hammerheads, and mako sharks would suffocate and they would die without forward motion. I mean, did I just make up something?
I don't know. You watch I would say infinitely more Shark Week than I have, Andy.
I haven't watched it for a couple of years, but I've watched enough.
You're also allowed to lie to fifth graders. They don't have Google.
That's the sad thing. They do, and they don't know how to use it. Right? Like my nephew has, he's obviously on the team. He's got a cell phone. Here's something funny. His cell phone.
Yeah, that's your motivation. You start taking cell phones away.
His cell phone was more updated than mine before I just upgraded.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't alive when the 6 came out.
He literally said to me, 6S? Like he gave me a look like I had just given him a typewriter. I was like, yeah, I have a 6S. And you're on your parents' hand-me-down phone or whatever you have. You ever use a typewriter back in the day?
Yeah, sure. An electric typewriter.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
My girlfriend asked me that the other day. We were watching that Christmas Story Christmas. She's like, did you ever use a typewriter? She's 7 years younger than me. And I was like, I maybe, but I do remember when I was like 5, my mom typed a story. I had her dictate. I had to start my own Andy Ruther Star Wars story that she typed up. I would love to see that, by the way. I would love to see what 5-year-old Andy Ruther created for his own Star Wars world.
Probably not much worse than the Boba Fett show.
Do you think it's that bad?
I bailed. I think I made it through 2 episodes. I won't be going back.
I didn't get through Obi-Wan. I feel like I have to.
Did get through Obi-Wan. I think I did. Andor is supposed to be really good.
Michael Majid told me that as well.
I've heard that.
But here's my thing on the Disney franchise, or Disney taking over the Star Wars franchise. They keep, based on what's happened in the past, they keep putting out not good content. Again, you're comparing, again, it's like we always say, you're comparing LeBron at his best, but it really hasn't been up to par with the things in the past. But here's what I kind of love. They know it and they just don't care because people will continue to watch it.
Yeah. It's not even fucking close. Not only do they not care, they actually, I would argue they don't even really know because they only look at money.
100%. It's like, cool, we're making this much money. I don't care. Oh, we got a 3 out of 10 rating. Don't care. It's like continue to go to a restaurant that just sucks. Doesn't matter. I did hear that about Endor. I have so much to watch. I don't watch anything during football season. Like nothing. Nothing.
But you don't just watch football. Like, what are you doing? Like, if you turn on the TV, are you just putting on the NFL Network?
I have not watched. Correct. During this football season, the only thing I've watched.
Or are you just not watching TV unless it's football?
Basically, that's it.
You're only watching games.
Games.
Otherwise, you're not on television.
Just not on television.
Now, your girlfriend must be watching TV.
Well, she's not gonna like this because she listens. She watches the worst. She has the worst taste ever, like ever.
And you don't sit there and like do shit on your phone or whatever. You're
sometimes, or I just belittle the shows, then I get kicked out.
Right. That sounds pretty on brand.
Right. It's the Housewives. It's the
on
Love
Brandy.
Island.
On Brandy, Andy.
Yeah. Love Island. It's the, you know these shows.
Yeah. Is she gonna watch MILF Mania or MILF Manor? That one I feel like you get into.
I love that it's on the Learning Channel.
Yeah. I feel like it would be weird for you to suddenly get into that one though, and then you've always been the guy who didn't watch, and now suddenly you're really into MILF Manor, and she's like, "Do you want to tell me something? Do you have a MILF fetish?"
Oh, she knows about my MILF history.
Oh, okay, good.
There's no secrets. There's no secrets at all. I mean, she knows all the dirty Andy secrets. The whole night. She knows about the Mexican grandma. If we want to just get to it. Which I sometimes forget about. You know what I forgot about, and I laughed. Somebody made a 2 fridge reference on Twitter in the last month or two.
Wow, the 2 fridges. That was San Diego. Who were we in San Diego with?
Ryan Buds. By the way, that was 2 years pre-Dirty Sports.
Yeah. The 2
Somebody
fridges.
made a 2 fridge reference.
Was it Buds' show? Did he bring us down?
No, it was me. That was one of the very last.
Oh, that's right. I remember. That was a
Frat Boys of Comedy
show.
That was I honestly think that was one of the very, very last. That was I can tell you actually, because I'm a savant when it comes to dates. That was February 2012. And I did a few more shows in April 2012. And I think that was the end. I found an old Frat Boys poster in my parents' house. And
I just remember that drive home from that was the worst experience of all time. It took us 5 hours to get back from San Diego because we left in the morning and then suddenly hit rush hour craziness. And I was vomitous, hungover.
And Buzz just was passed out in the back of my little Corolla. And what I always remember about that drive home is all you wanted was coffee and a sandwich from McDonald's. And I waited until we got to Marina Del Rey.
Yeah. I was just why are you doing this to me?
I waited until we were a mile and a half from where we lived. Which in hindsight, what was I thinking?
Yeah. You're I really need to get back.
To go sleep.
2 fridges. I wonder how many dirtballs even remember the 2 fridges. How many dirtballs have been around long enough for a 2 fridges story?
Well, it's a classic story. The girl I hooked up with had 2 fridges.
Yeah.
And she ruined Prano's back.
Yeah. I have crippling back pain. Thank God for John Sarno. Otherwise, that girl's fusing my vertebrae together. And I carried her home.
So what happened? Did you walk in when we were hooking up, or did I just walk out naked, which I would always do?
I think at some point Buds and I were we got to get it. We got to wake him up and get him. We got to get this party on the road. And I think we went in and got you. We walked in on you. We didn't walk in on you while you were hooking up, but I think we walked in on you post hookup. But all I remember about the 2 fridges situation is it was a house full of girls, and we opened the one fridge, and I was like, oh God, it's nuts and berries and lettuce. I'm just so fucking hungry. And then she's like, yeah, you're in the wrong fridge. This is my fridge over here. We opened the fridge and it was just it looked like something you would see in the back of a Costco, like out of like behind the barn doors. It was just like stacked frozen pizzas, stacked frozen burritos. It looked like an industrial. It looked like a service refrigerator. Just like, this is the one you want.
And that's the girl I hooked up with. The best part is we're at San Diego State, which I did probably 3 or 4 shows there over a couple of years. Most beautiful college girls, like drop dead gorgeous, right? They go to San Diego State. We leave the frat house, go to a bar. Only I would pick up the not so good looking girls from San Diego State, and we go back to their house.
Yeah.
That was right around the time Charlie Sheen was big. Because one other memory I have is I remember looking at their menu and it had like a tiger's blood shot. Like I remember because we ate after the show, we ate at some bar restaurant. And I remember I vaguely remember you had a look on your face. Like I just had okay, let's get turned like how I used to be. And I just ordered shots right away. And I probably ordered that like a dork. And like you had that look. And the next thing you know, like I'm inviting a group of girls over to the table. And well, the rest is history.
Yeah. All I remember from that is I was still doing my boxed wine joke. And after the show, I still have a picture of me signing a bag of wine.
Oh, that's right.
Signing a bag of Franzia Rosé.
That's right.
The blush.
Joe, that was almost 11 years ago. Like if you really put it in perspective, that's insane, man.
Yeah. You're in Cincinnati living with your girlfriend now. And I got up this morning just wanting coffee and a McDonald's breakfast sandwich.
I think Buds is in Tennessee.
Really? Is that where he lives these days?
Yeah, I think he bought a house.
Where is he from?
He's from Illinois.
Okay.
Like greater Chicago area. But he runs like a very successful like trivia game business.
Oh, I know. I used to host his trivia night in Venice.
But he's made it like global, like countrywide now.
Yeah. Yeah. He was already doing that when I was helping.
Oh, he
out.
was.
Yeah. It's basically like he sends you all the info. It's like a turnkey trivia night.
Yeah, I'll never forget him because he wasn't a big partier. He was
he was probably already married then.
He was. He was already married. Like he got married young. I just remember him. He was moaning in the backseat. He was like,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Drank too much. Oh man, just get to LA already. He was so hungover. When we got back to my apartment, obviously where his car was parked, he crashed on the couch for hours. He was like, I can't drive I think he lived in the valley. He's like, I can't even drive there. I got to sleep at your place for a bit. And that was the last time I talked to him. No, I'm kidding. Nice little trip down memory lane.
2 fridge?
Yeah.
2 fridge. 4 pizzas.
Did you eat any from her?
I think we did. I think we
Costco
made.
Fridge?
I forget what we made out of there. We made something.
Yeah. Well, it's always good when we go back down that memory lane. It always makes me laugh. In sad news, though, I do want to mention this: the passing of Mike Leach. I've read a lot,
which is a good segue because, guys, if you want to imagine me giving Mike Leach a piggyback ride home from a bar, that's essentially who Andy took home. Good segue.
I thought you were going to go the angle of he had a massive heart attack, and if you eat the food that girl had in her fridge,
yeah, she's also probably long gone.
Well,
either that or she's like now a bulimic that runs a Pilates studio.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Come on.
sad Mike Leach news. Mike
No, it's
Leach,
not.
one of the great characters in college sports.
Wasn't he?
Yeah.
So I didn't know enough about him. Like obviously I knew his history and his coaching history, and we've all seen the interviews and the quotes and the obsession with Pirates and history and everything that came with the Mike Leach persona. I didn't know, which is wild, until he passed and started reading everything. No formal football as far as collegiately. He played college rugby. I had no clue that he had his law degree by Pepperdine. Like just a smart, well-read guy who got into this, who coached, I believe, was it Finland? He coached football or some random country, Sweden, Finland. And then where it all starts from there. And he became obsessed with passing. And I guess the quote is, why, if statistically you can get more yards passing, why would you run the ball? And his whole, the whole thing. And then I forgot things. I forgot like when they had Crabtree and they beat number 1 Texas in 2008.
Yeah.
And I think for a short moment, they were number 1 that year, but you forget all those things. And the thing is, say what you want, he was successful everywhere he went, as far as he turned around every program.
It's one of those, he's one of those guys. He's like the Chip Kelly, the D'Antoni, the thing. It's like, you bring in that style, you're gonna beat teams. And then it's like, he never had the championship season, but he came in and just totally changed the face of the game where whatever program he took over. And I always say I'm the second most famous Lehigh journalism grad behind CJ McCollum. We have Mike Leach, probably the most famous Pepperdine law grad, second, of course, being works with Wolves, former intern Aaron.
True. It's a good point. I forgot about that. So I saw I'm trying to pull it up. I don't know if I lost it. I saw his coaching tree / player tree. I mean, here's the thing about his influence, and I can't find this article. I think it was The Athletic, but I can't remember. I mean, like he coached Cliff Kingsbury, obviously a coach now. Like he coached, like his coaching tree has been very successful. Guys who coached under him or were assistants, like Lincoln Riley. I'm trying to remember who else. So the point is, like, a lot of guys went on to be very successful, and they do follow that mantra, right? Like, look at Lincoln Riley. We're always going to be good wherever I coach. We're going to put up a ton of points and play zero defense.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And I didn't even know until I read that I didn't know he was an assistant under Bob Stoops. Like, he had worked his way up to that point before he got the Texas Tech job. But yeah, just a great character and a great guy. And in a sport that I would say, like, you get the boring, bland Nick Saban. Like, Saban's boring. I don't care what you say. He's boring. Dabo Swinney's boring. To have a coach who's going to talk about something that has nothing to do with football. There's that famous quote. I'm sure you've seen the video, right, of him going through it. It reminds me of when Bill Walton does the bits on mascot. You've seen the Mike Leach thing on the Pac-12 mascots, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that sums him up perfectly. Let me, I'm actually going to find that, where he's basically saying, who's going to beat a Cougar when he's coaching
Washington State?
Yeah. And so it's basically a battle of the mascots. And he said this 3 years ago. And it's just so funny because he goes through each team. Here, I'll just play it. It's pretty funny.
Well, first of all, what kind of mythical powers does a Sun Devil have? We got to consider that. I'm going to say the Wildcat's out. The Trojan, does he have a horse or is he on foot? Does he have a bow and arrow or just his sword? The Bruin, definitely formidable.
The Bruin, definitely formidable.
Bear up there at Cal. The tree, I imagine that tree's going to get chopped down. unless we're going to go with a bird and somebody might get pecked or something. I don't know. And then the duck might lose interest and just fly away and get out of there, which may be good advice under the circumstances. The husky, no chance. The beaver, we'll see how long that beaver can hold his breath. The ute, again, we're back to, is he on horseback? Does he have a bow and arrow? Did he trade for a rifle? I mean, because if that ute's got a rifle, there's some definite problems. And then, you'd have to get one of those Harry Potter activists to read up on how you kill a sun devil, because there's a lot of outside stuff there. Just as far as a beast alone, a buffalo's going to be pretty hard to tangle with. I mean, a buffalo's utterly outstanding. Well, but Butch is going to have to be clear-minded and crafty. I mean, Butch will find a way. There's no question. The Coug will find a way. Clear-minded and crafty, a combination of stay out of harm's way and attack when you get your chances or your opening.
So is the cougar named Butch?
Yeah. Butch the Coug.
Why is he called Butch?
I don't know. But he's clear-minded and crafty. I like it. He'll find a way.
Like I said, I've been up there. I did, to go back, I did a Frat Boys of Comedy show at Washington State.
The girl you brought home that night also named Butch.
Actually, I might have shared this. What actually happened that night, true story, was I did go back with a Washington State young lady, and she told me the next day, she's like, we got back to my place. You barfed all over the bathroom, all over the toilet.
Clear-minded and crafty.
And then you just fell asleep in my bed. Like that was one of those where I woke up and I said, where am I? And she's like, dude, you puked everywhere in my bathroom. Didn't even clean it up. Went right to sleep. Did I ask her for a ride back to my hotel? Damn right I did.
He'll find a way.
Yeah, why am I not the Washington State mascot? Make it just drunk Andy Ruther. Dude, I'm coming up on 9 years
of sobriety
of the denting in April of next year.
Yeah. 9 years in April.
9 years. April 5th, 2014 is when the denting happened.
It's crazy.
Right? Absolutely nuts. And for us, we're coming up on 900 episodes. 900 in January. Getting real close to that 1,000 episode mark, which is a great time to remind everybody we are announcing the Bengals Bills Gold Star giveaway on Monday. So December 19th is the cutoff. If you guys want to submit, all is quiet on the Western Front right now. I'm shocked.
I'm shocked too. I'm mostly I'm mostly shocked about Bills Mafia. Just taking that high road across fucking Western New York. You basically bounce right into fucking Ohio. You're in Pennsylvania for like a hot minute, I think, if you come up from that high side. You're right there. Bills Mafia. They'll jump through tables, but they won't jump through hoops for the Dirty Sports Podcast. It's shocking. So instead, we've got basically the rap battle from, a 90s fucking nerd film. Remember in the 90s when rap started blowing up and then everybody was like, we're going to have a rap scene.
Yeah.
But to be fair, thank God those guys didn't rap. They went with, what was it? Fucking Fall Out Boy or something like that.
Yeah. Somebody left a call mad that I dissed Fall Out Boy.
I won't even allow you to play that call. I think dissing Fall Out Boy is completely fine. Fall Out Boy is the kind of shit that Kyle Aronofsky listens to when he fucking paints my shower curtain red with hair dye.
Yeah.
It's like, it's
Not
emo
my
millennial shit.
Yeah, it's not my thing either. Well, those guys really have been the saving grace. And a lot of people have DM'd me in the show and said, oh, when's the cutoff? Or I got something coming. Guys, it's Monday.
Ooh, you think people are trying to like throw something in under the wire? I don't know. That's a dangerous game to play. It's a dangerous game to play. The two-headed monster that's Matthew and Jedediah right now has been a constant attack to try to sneak in at the last minute. I mean, strength of schedule is important.
I agree. And that's where I stand. It's like, dude, you might come out with a great video. These guys have a catalog of videos. They have a diss track on each other. I mean,
yeah,
they were noticed so well that, and this wasn't even me, for the record. This was not me. This was Gold Star wanted to send them stuff.
Some Bills fan jumping off the roof of his RV through a table of hot chili. Okay. But like, I mean, that's honestly the kind of video that's going to come in at the last minute. Short of something like that, these guys just they've stockpiled too much of a resume.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't want to see somebody jump through steaming hot chili on a plastic table.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is, you can't just do the 81-point game and barely beat the Raptors.
Yeah.
Kobe diss. But, I'm just, was it 81? How many scored that game?
Yeah, 81.
It's just like, I don't know. This is going to be a fun game. The ticket prices are through the roof. Not just the game. We have the tailgate, which will be probably starting around like 5:00 or something. I did see a comment in the YouTube about that. So basically, the tailgate will be by Paycor Stadium. I always want to say Paul Brown. There's two big tailgates. I know the big Bengal superfan, Bengal Jim, does a massive tailgate. He's going to be fully supplied with Gold Star. Will have conies, burgers, the whole 9 yards. They're going to give him tons of food. I believe the last time they sponsored probably about half his tailgates. I believe last time they gave him 500 burgers and I forget how many conies. So like they don't mess around. And everybody wants these. This is what everybody wants, Joe. Everybody in Cincy wants these Houday Stunna shades. It's the hot item. Say it. Just say it.
Bandy Andy.
And here's what else I love. What will be flowing at that tailgate, Joe?
This is what I'm coming for.
Yeah. And this will be flowing the stadium, which again, the main alcohol sponsor for the Bengals, our friends at Miller Lite.
I've got a Miller Lite snow hat. I've got a Miller Lite sweater. I've got a Miller Lite Hawaiian shirt. I've got a Miller Lite hoodie. I might just be coming dressed to the nines, just full Miller Lite gear. If Miller Lite wants to send me, a man's romper, I'll be rocking it.
Yeah. Well, I'm working on that. As we know, this time of year, 'tis Miller time, and you can get some of their great gear and some great gift ideas for all our beer lovers out there. Go over Miller Lite shop. Well, I'll give the website. It's a Miller Lite shop site at shop.millerlite.com. They have a great new holiday collection. What are they called? The ones you can drink that are ornaments?
Beer ornaments.
Beer ornaments. They have those. Those are really cool. Just a whole variety. You guys can check that out. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/dirty sports to find delivery options near you so you can give the gift of Miller time this holiday season. We got all these holidays coming up, all these games. now is the best time to use that delivery option. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. 'Tis Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. So you cut the lead down by 1.
Yeah, I know.
But it's funny. You sound defeated, but look, here's the thing. There's 4 weeks left.
Oh, I know. I'm not defeated. I am just gonna have to get strategic because I feel like you're playing a defensive game that I can only pick it. You know, it's tough to go 4-0 in different picks.
It's real tough.
If you go 3-1 in different picks, you pick up 2 different games. You pick up 2 games. If you go 3-2, you pick up 1. Like I'm just gonna have to start getting a little dangerous. I'm gonna have to start.
Yeah.
Like your boy Baker Mayfield says, I feel dangerous. I woke up feeling dangerous today.
So you're down 5 points, and it's 4 weeks to go.
And it is dangerous because if you go 7, right? Like if we go 6 or 7 different picks, and I go 5-1 one week, or 4 or 1-5, I should say, that's good night and good luck.
Sure. No, I know.
I gotta go 6 or 7 different picks and hope to go 4-2.
Well, the big week, I don't remember. It was a few weeks ago. We had 8 different picks.
Yeah.
And that was where you needed.
And we split.
Yeah, you needed like a 6-2.
And I think I went like 4-3-1, right?
Yeah. That was kind of like the week that was set up to maybe change things. So we are in week 15, which again means there's only 4 weeks left. I'm going to play some calls as we look at some of these games. I did some deep dives on my own as well on some interesting numbers that I want to discuss. But yeah, week 15, here we are. We're going to start it off with your Thursday night game, Niners at Seahawks. Niners are 3-point favorites. Brock Purdy is starting, correct? I saw he was listed as questionable.
Yes, he was listed as questionable, which is, this poor Niners team. Debo now out for a few weeks. I joked yesterday on Twitter, who starts for the Niners if Brock Purdy can't go? Carlos Correa? San Francisco just gave him a ton of money. It's the least you could do.
I can start it off. The Niners are playing great football. They've won now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. It's a tough one. Seattle, conversely, has been losing a lot of games. The Seahawks defense is just totally suspect. They lost at home last week to the Carolina Panthers. But Carroll seems to always play well. It's kind of like how Shanahan always has McVay's number. I don't know the breakdown, but I feel this is just based off.
And where's the game?
It's in Seattle. And the Niners are 3-point favorites. I think the Niners finally lose.
Wow, you think they lose the game?
I do. And I know they're playing great, but I'm going to go with Seattle to win, upset win, and cover.
I'll tell you straight up, the strategy. I'm the whole time you're going here, I'm like, this is 3 on the road here seems crazy, like a 1 or 2 point favorite with Brock Purdy being questionable seems more reasonable. But the whole time you're talking, I'm just like, you're just going to go against Ruther here. It's got to be the play. Because I think this game could go either way. If the Niners won this game 27-7, no one would be shocked. Debo being out definitely hurts them. You hate your now third string quarterback coming to the game questionable. But the one thing is, there has not been a team, I think, save for the Chiefs, the whole season, that have put up points on the Niners. So unless this game is a Thursday night 17, 15, 17, 14, 16, 13 game. I feel like even with the lack of firepower that they might have starting a third stringer, no, their superstar receiver. I mean, if they put up 17 points, they could still cover. So I'll take the Niners.
And I'm also thinking Brock Purdy had a great game last week.
Yeah.
It was at home.
Yeah. Oh, this game's gonna be. I don't think this game. Whatever. I'll take the under on this game.
Yeah, I mean this game's going to be a dogfight. It's in Seattle. Tough place to play. The over/under is 43. And to be honest, I think it'll be better for the Niners to lose. They've won 6 in a row. I went digging last night because that's been the talk here in Cincinnati.
You know what? I'm glad I went with the Niners too, because I'm gonna be rooting hard for the Niners as well, because we need the Seahawks to keep losing games as the Giants playoff push.
So the Niners have won 6 in a row. The Bengals have won 5 in a row. And everybody's talking here like they got to win out. They got to win their last 9. And I'm like, dude, that's not good for the playoffs. That's not good. So I did a deep dive out of curiosity. Again, this totally plays for the Niners fans as well. I wanted to look at the last 10 Super Bowl winners. How many games had they won straight entering the postseason? Because I had an inkling. I've had a lot happen. And by the way, we're not going to include they sit their starter sort of thing, the last game. So I'm trying to go through one by one briefly. Joe, these are the last 10 Super Bowl winners.
Okay.
How they ended the season, because I think it's important, right? Rams lost the final game.
By the
last
way,
year.
can we just talk about Bandy Andy right now? Bandy Andy's wondering how the winning streak that the Bengals on are going to affect his Bengals come playoff time. So last night he put on his glasses and he went to work and he looked up the last 10 seasons of Super Bowl winning final games. I love this.
Well, not just for the Bengals. Like I said, the Niners was like, okay, the Niners and the Bengals are the two teams that have big win streaks going on right now. A 5 and a 6 game win streak. And again, there's still 4 weeks left. That's why I wanted to look it up. Yeah, I did. Took a little time. Wanted to get some numbers. These are the last 10 Super Bowl winners, how their final game ended. Rams lost to the Niners last year.
Right.
Bucks, 4-game win streak, 2020. Chiefs, 6-game win streak, 2019. 2018 Pats, 2-game win streak. Eagles, 3-game win streak, sat the starters the final game. They lost. So we'll just say 3.
They lost their final game?
2017, they sat their starters and they lost to the Cowboys 6-0.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That was after the Christmas miracle against the Raiders.
Yeah. 2016 is our longest win streak entering the playoffs. It's the Patriots. They won 7 straight games. 2015, Broncos, 2-game win streak. 2014, Patriots, 3-game win streak, sat their starters final game. 2013 Seahawks, 1-game win streak. The 2012 Ravens lost their final game because they sat their starters and they had a 1-game win streak before that. So basically it lines up. The biggest win streaks we have are a 6 and a 7 game. Most of them are usually just a couple. All I'm saying is I think these teams might get complacent if you've won a ton in a row, like 9, 10 games. It hasn't happened in the last 10 years. I didn't go any farther back than 10 years. My point is for Niners fans in this game, I don't think it's the worst thing to happen if you lose, because you're not going to get the number 1 seed.
Right.
Just something to think about. This might mean nothing. Had to look it up, but it kind of proved my point, which I kind of thought would happen. All right. Moving right along. Colts Vikings in Minnesota. The Vikes are 4-point favorites.
Interesting.
You're up.
These Vikings fans have been awfully quiet as of late.
Correct.
I feel like.
Or no, I'm sorry. By the way, this is Saturday. So real quick, Joe, before you pick
3 Saturday games.
Yeah. Sorry. There's 3 Saturday games, all on NFL Network. So bless you. So I mean, look, before you make your pick, we have to decide, is technically this prime time, because it's prime. Is this prime time Kirk Cousins? It's 1:00, but there's only one game on.
Interesting. Interesting way to look at it. Your nationally televised game.
The only nationally televised game, but it's at 1:00.
I'm going to take the Vikings to win and cover. I think this gets Vikings fans re-energized. They look at, like, I could not believe. Let me just say this right now. I could not believe in this Vikings team less. People have talked all year about, there was a point where it was my Giants were the worst 2-win team, 3-win team, 6-win team. I could not believe less in this Vikings team. I think the statistic of the Vikings having a negative point differential, and that, like, no team has ever had a negative point differential and done anything of fucking value in the postseason. Like, I think that's obviously just so telling, but just the lack of defense combined with a quarterback who's never shown for one iota of a second to play clutch in any sort of big games. I have no confidence in this team whatsoever, but if there's one thing I know about the Vikings, it's that they will dupe their fan base into having confidence in them coming into the playoffs. And part of duping them into that is the 12-point victory over the Colts, where Kirk Cousins just looks so good on Saturday. And they're like, we're back, baby. We're running away with the 2 seed. And then, I mean, I cannot fucking wait to bet against them in a playoff game. I'm trying to get my bookie to give me a line on the Vikings. Give me the Vikings playoff line right now.
So Matt Ryan is still starting for the Colts.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson's still not starting for the Ravens.
Correct. Now, I could go into ball control, and I could say I'm going with the Vikings.
Oh, we know that, Andy. We're aware.
Which is a fine strategy. It's totally under the ethics.
Strategy. Yeah.
But I'm going to go with my gut.
Okay.
My gut thinks this is a close game. I'm going to take the Colts.
Okay.
Now, would I be shocked if the Colts lost by 2 touchdowns? No.
I also wouldn't be shocked if the Colts straight up win the game.
I'd be shocked if they win the game. But I'm going to go with my gut. We're going to start out with 2 different picks.
Let's go.
I know you like to see that. So
I'm way more confident about the Vikings than I am about the Niners, but I love the rooting interests so far. I love being able to root for the Niners, and I love watching. I love the idea of Kirk Cousins just having a fantastic performance, and Vikings fan once again, the Nick Swartzens of the world. I'll suck the chain off his neck. only to have the halftime of their first playoff game. Piss, shit, vinegar shots for everybody. I'm drinking them down until I go blind.
So next up is a very important game as well, especially for the playoff seeding. Ravens at Browns. Browns are 3-point favorites.
Browns are 3-point favorites.
I believe Tyler Huntley is still playing quarterback, which I've argued doesn't really matter for me.
Yeah.
I really don't look at the numbers. Like, are they really that much different? Baltimore finds a way to win games, man. They just do.
Yeah.
Their defense is good. Deshaun Watson has really struggled his first 2 games back. This will be his first home game. He was in Houston. He was in Cincinnati. So the boos will be lighter. I don't know how much that affects him. I feel like if the Browns win this game, it's going to be right at 3.
Right.
It's going to be a close game.
I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised the Browns are 3-point favorites. I would have thought Ravens point or 2, or I would have thought it'd swing 1 point either way.
They really struggled last week, the Browns. Like really, like they couldn't even run the ball. Which you figure like they have to run the ball. I think Chubb had
That was another ball control, Andy. When we previewed the game on Monday, I was like, "Oh, I'm hard on this Bengals team," and you're like, "Really? Joe Burrow's never beaten the Browns." And
I
then
don't know if
Thursday came, and you're like, "I'm on the Bengals. Who dey?"
I don't know if I made a decision yet, though. I'm going with the Browns.
Wow.
I've been taking Baltimore continues to win. Damn, part of me thinks they're going to win, but like part of me, are they going to win by 3? I'll stick with it. I'll go Browns.
I'm also going to go the Browns. I think it would be a fine play here for anybody out there to, tease this game one way or the other, because I think you're right. I think it is going to be right around this number. Though it just seems like the Ravens, especially, I am not the world's biggest Lamar Jackson fan. I think that's obvious. I think I've been on that train sort of before most folks. Even I rode that train through the MVP season, whatever. It does make a difference to me that it's Tyler Huntley. Like Lamar Jackson, I think Vegas would probably have Ravens as favorites in this game. And I'd be way more confident in a Ravens victory with Huntley, even before Jackson went down, but certainly since he went down, they really feel like the cat in the hanging on poster, hang in there. It just seems like every game they find a way, but it's like even the best teams, even the best coach teams, it's like that doesn't last forever. You're going to get caught one week. And I do feel like a division game is one where you're going to get caught. The 3 points, like you said, if it was 1 or 2, I'd be way more confident, but I don't think I want to get burned here on a Browns win.
Okay. Yeah. And this would be huge for that division if they lose. All right. Moving along. We got a fun AFC East battle. Your night primetime game. Dolphins at Bills. Bills are currently sitting at 7-point favorites. Wow.
Really?
I have to read the Tua quote. So the expectation is a lot of snow, which of course it's Buffalo. It's December. What else will we expect? I have to read the Tua quote, which I saw today, which made me laugh. Tua downplays snow in Buffalo. It snows in Alabama. And I have to read his quote. He says, it could be snowing, could rain. I don't know. It's a mindset thing. I'm not going to worry about it. It snowed in Alabama my first year. People don't know that. So, which, by the way, I think that's hilarious. Like, there's a difference between Alabama snow and Buffalo snow.
Yeah.
Like, for you to even say that really makes me question a lot about you, to be honest. Like, Alabama, you probably got a little snowfall because it's way farther south. Like, I don't know. It just seems to me by this spread that Vegas is saying there is a big difference between these two teams, especially in elements where you have bad weather. Before you make your pick, just think about all that. I mean,
I'm actually just shocked that it's this high. I'm going to go with Miami just based on, in my head, I had not seen this line.
Yeah, it's very high.
I hadn't looked at this. I'm looking now to see if it's moved in some way, shape, or form, and it really hasn't. It's really bounced back and forth. Between 7 and 7.5. I mean, you go back. Yeah, I just think it's too big for a division game in the snow. Obviously, the Dolphins, this could certainly hurt them, the weather, but it's like sometimes I think that's overblown. Obviously, Buffalo is probably practicing in the snow or practicing in the weather a little bit here and there. They're more used to it, but like you play a snow game, everybody slows down one way or the other. I'm just gonna take the Dolphins because I think that spread's too big in my head.
Yeah, it's a big spread. That was one of the biggest, like when I looked at the early line, I peeked it real early this week. That was one of those that caught me going, oh, that's a big spread. And for that reason, I'm also going to go with the Dolphins. I think the Bills win the game. Now, here's something I find interesting as I pull up the Prize Pick app, which Dirtballs, it's week 15. You know by now, it's our official daily fantasy sports partner, our friends at Prize Picks. Download today. Make sure you use promo code DIRTY when you sign up. There's still time. All first-time users that deposit and use promo code DIRTY will receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100. And I think this is a very interesting game to make a few plays on. In particular, as I pull up what I have on my board right now on Prize Picks, more or less passing yards for both Josh Allen and Tua. Josh Allen is at 225.5. I think that's low. I would go with more passing yards. Conversely, Tua is at a higher rate. He's at 235.5 passing yards. I'd go less on that.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting that they have Tua 10 yards more.
I think they're thinking that Buffalo wins the game and Miami's got to throw late.
Yeah, I can see that. So go ahead today and make those plays over at Prize Picks. Okay. So that's Saturday's games, Joe, which is fun. So we got those 3 primetime games Saturday. Let's move on to Sunday.
So we're both on Miami on that one.
We're both on Miami.
Okay.
Eagles, Bears in Chicago. Eagles are 9-point favorites. Another big spread here. The Bears have kind of turned their season around as far as offensively, like they can actually score. They can't stop anybody, though. That spread. My mentality on this is the Eagles can put up points, man, in a variety of ways. I'm going with the Eagles to win and cover.
Well, I think the Eagles definitely win this game. It's what you say, it's 9 points.
Correct.
I'm gonna take Chicago. I'm gonna take Chicago for a couple reasons. One, my rooting interest will be heavily on Chicago, obviously, no doubt about that. I also think when you look at this Eagles team, I mean, last week against the Giants, I picked them. I picked the Eagles to cover. They obviously covered by a landslide. To me, it feels like this Eagles team, they're so good. It feels like, or it seems like so far, the games that get dicey for them are the ones that you would never think would be dicey. The Indianapolis game, the Washington game that kind of kicked off Washington's run. I like the Chicago. I like a backdoor late cover.
All right.
Let's go Bears.
This could be a big week for you.
I also, I'm going to say, like, and again, I think the Eagles win this game. No matter what happens, I think the Eagles win this game, but I haven't even looked at it. Because I haven't even signed into my betting app. So it's currently locked. I should sign in while I'm here, but like, I love give me a Bears first half money line.
Interesting. I kind of like that.
Log in so I can get all my numbers here.
All right, Falcons Saints. This game still matters. This division is so bad. It's in New Orleans. Saints are 4-point favorites.
We have a new quarterback for Atlanta, correct? Desmond Ridder. Where's he from?
I know he's a local guy here, University of Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
So you're gonna get a guy who can move in the pocket. He can run. I was a little surprised that they benched Mariota for him. I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting move here, this point of the year.
This is you. You're first on this one, aren't you? Or am I? No, you're right. You took the Eagles.
Correct.
Okay. Give me the spread again.
It's 4, New Orleans.
New Orleans 4 in New Orleans.
It's in New Orleans.
Oh man, by the way, you know how many times I've been burned by this Saints team this year? I don't have the numbers on me, but I feel like every time I pick them, they fucking blow it. And every time I go against them, they look good. I think last week was maybe the first week I've gotten them. The new quarterback makes me not want to go with the Falcons. But I also just think division, dogfight, the Saints, good 1 week, bad 1 week. Were the Saints off last week? Were they both off last week? Yeah, I think they both had buys. Give me the Falcons coming off a bye because I actually think that the Saints coach is dog shit, and therefore I'm going to go with the Falcons coaching advantage.
Are you Jameis 101? That's all he tweets about. That's all he tweets about.
Well, but listen, he was tweeting that about fucking Sean Payton. He was tweeting that about fucking
I'm joking.
Bruce Arians. No, listen. The thing with this Saints team is as mediocre, and we can all agree that like Andy Dalton is mediocre. Andy Dalton is a lower tier starting quarterback. Andy Dalton is essentially the guy you want as a good backup quarterback on a team now that has a terrible starting quarterback. And so he's taken over the starting role. But as mediocre as Andy Dalton is, they've had a good defense the last couple of years. They have Kamara. They have, they have like some semblance of talent on the offensive side of the ball, but yet week in and week out in a division that no one's running away with, they just continue to piss it away. And so to me, not knowing, you're not diving in enough.
4 is tough.
Yeah.
That like my thing is 4, they can't score. Their defense is going to be fine. Let's not forget their last game. They were up 16-3 with 7 minutes to go and they lost.
Yeah.
That was the Bucs game against Brady. I just think scoring is an issue. So in my head, I'm trying to compute 4. Now, if it was 3, I might be different. I'm hung up on 4. And therefore I had to take the Saints. I'm sorry, the Falcons.
I was about to be like, okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
It's just because of the 4. This next game is real interesting.
Real interesting. Is this Cowboys Jacksonville?
No, I'm looking at Lions Jets.
Okay.
It's even.
Even.
I'm going to play a call.
Okay.
We got a call for somebody to come in and talk some trash about the Lions. I'll be curious what you have to say about this.
Hey, Dirty Sports. Just wanted to call about the Lions. Much like you guys probably did, I bet on the Lions under for the season total of wins. And I think what we all forgot to consider is that the Lions would fuck up the season in the worst way possible, which would be play yourself out of the playoffs in the first half of the season, win meaningless games, and then hurt your draft stock. So we thought they would be terrible, but they're worse than terrible, like Joe always says. So definitely a miss by everyone. The goddamn Lions are so fucking bad.
So like I think it's a legitimate discussion. Is it worse that the Lions are going to finish like
just out of the playoffs?
8-9?
I do think it's worse for numerous reasons. One, I think it gives you false confidence in your coach and it gives you false confidence in your quarterback. And I don't know what you did, but somehow my Reddit, it should be totally separate from your, it shouldn't have any relation to what you're. Somehow I now get literal updates, notifications on my phone from Detroit Lions Reddit.
What do you mean what I did?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what you did. You were sending me Lions shit all the time. Like I didn't subscribe to Lions Reddit, but somehow they're like sending me, like I'm literally getting notifications when I go on. And when I go on Reddit now, on the top left, it's like Dirty Sports Detroit Lions. I'm like, those both start with D. I'm clicking accidentally on the Detroit Lions. I got a notification last night, and it said the Reddit post title was "Stop Mocking CJ Stroud to the Lions." And I read it as "Stop Making Fun of." But actually what the post is stop saying in mock drafts that we're taking him. Now, you know I have numerous thoughts on this from so many angles. One, absolutely don't take an Ohio State quarterback. But two, when you start reading it, they're like, stop mock drafting him to us. We have our quarterback. And
Unbelievable.
I'm just like, yeah. And I'm just like, this is insane. So I actually think the thing about this Lions team, and this has never been something I questioned from the beginning. You do have talent, and you do have young talent, and you do have young, controllable, cheap talent. And you are in a division where Kirk Cousins is a fraud. The Chicago Bears can't get it right, and their quarterback is fucking, a running back, and therefore will get hurt. By the way, shocker, Kyler Murray getting hurt running the ball on Monday. Who saw that coming? Of course, I did forever. And then Aaron Rodgers may or may not be leaving to go, make synthetic psychedelics with Joe Rogan and his witch girlfriend. Like, we don't like this is such an up for grabs division, and you're sitting there with talent, and you're throwing that talent into a pot, and you're trying to mix it up with Jared Goff and the grit guy. And it's like, when you have talent in the NFL, you can be good week in and like on a random week. But what makes you consistently good is winning those close games, which we said they didn't do to start the year, and having a quarterback that can lead you deep in the playoffs. Oh, you guys have your own Kirk Cousins? Cool fucking story. That's not where you want to be in this division. Now, I'm not saying you should draft CJ Stroud, because I think I believe more in not drafting an Ohio State quarterback than I believe in the Detroit Lions are always a disaster. But yes, I actually think this is worse. I actually think getting yourself a legit strategic head coach while you have this young, controllable talent, and maybe getting yourself a quarterback could make you good.
Yeah.
Real good.
Sure.
Pretty fast.
Agreed.
Because you don't have to pay all those guys yet.
Sure.
So yeah, I think finishing 8 and 9 is the worst fucking thing that could possibly happen to you.
Yeah. Well, this game isn't. Who's up first?
I just picked the Falcons first. So
Okay.
You are up first.
The Jets win this game.
Yes. It's in New York. It started. Let me tell you what's happened. And I had the briefest look at line movements. It started at Jets 2.5-point favorites. It came down to Lions 1-point favorite, and now has settled back to 0 to a pick'em game. Now, normally an early line move means that the sharp bettors with big money move that line early. I feel like everything I know about Lions Reddit is this line moved more. And I haven't looked into the actual. I wish I could find like a ticker. If any dirty dirtball out there is in enough where they have like a hour by hour line movement, I'd blow you for that, because I'd love to have that kind of thing to refer back to. But I have a feeling Lions Reddit and the insane fanboys of the Detroit Lions moved this game to the Lions -1, and now it's settled back to pick them. I think the Jets win this game, mostly because it's in New York.
And they have a defense.
Yeah.
A great defense. And Jared Goff does not do. He doesn't play well against great defenses.
And he doesn't play well in the wind.
Correct.
I don't know if you knew that.
Forgot about that.
And I don't know if it's supposed to be windy in New Jersey, but it tends to be windy in that. It's not the old Giants Stadium, but it's still windy in that part of town.
All right, Steelers, Panthers. It's in Charlotte. Carolina's 3-point favorites.
Who's
You're at first.
Who's quarterbacking the Pittsburgh Steelers?
That's what I was just going to ask. Let's look it up.
I'm assuming for safety purposes, since Kenny Pickett got a concussion, that he's probably out. Because, like, why are we playing guys with concussions at this point? But also, I'm sure Mike Tomlin doesn't give a shit.
This is 1 day ago. Tomlin uncertain who will start for QB. I mean, we're forgetting about Mason Rudolph, too. Not that he's any. I mean, Trubisky just played so poorly.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about a game I don't want to watch. You're talking Mason Rudolph, Mitch Trubisky, Sam Darnold.
Just want to look at something really quickly before I mean, obviously the Panthers, nice win last week. But Panthers, I mean,
that was a good win because they played well. The D played well. Sam Darnold did not do much in that game.
You go back to Bengals beat the Panthers, blow out the Panthers 42-21. After that, the Panthers win a game against the Falcons, score 3 points against the Ravens, beat the Broncos, beat the Seahawks. I'm going to take the Panthers to win and cover at home.
So I don't know the QB situation. It seems like nobody else does. I can't pick the Steelers without knowing. I just can't. And if it's not Kenny Pickett, I can't take them. So I don't even like this either. I'm going to go with the Panthers. All right. Here's a game you said you were eyeing. This Cowboys-Jags. It's in Jacksonville. Dallas is 4-point favorites. Jacksonville's been tough to figure out. Like, they got smoked by the Lions a couple weeks ago.
Well, listen.
Last week they smoked Tennessee.
Both of these teams are difficult to figure out because the Jaguars look fucking great at times. The Cowboys look terrible at times. The Cowboys look terrible in big wins at times. And then you come to this game and it's +4. It's again like what am I missing? It feels like a what am I missing game.
It'll be a Cowboys home game.
Well, sure. That's neither here nor there, though. It's like, it's to me, 2.5, 3, them hooking me with that 3.5 makes more sense. And what I tend to do, and when it doesn't make sense to me, I ride with what doesn't make sense. I'm going to take the Cowboys to cover, which I honestly will straight up tell you I fucking hate. But to me, that's why I was previewing this.
That was my pick first, but whatever.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, it was my pick first. You just picked the Jets, didn't you? No, we did Carolina after that.
Yeah. It's fine. I'll take the Jags.
I hate it. Honestly, I like your side of it more. I like the rooting interest.
Well, hold on. Is Trevor Lawrence, is there something I'm missing?
I'm telling you, Andy, that's the issue here. That's my issue. No, Trevor Lawrence is playing. Why wouldn't Trevor Lawrence be playing? He played to me, the Jacksonville Jaguars starting to figure it out. The Cowboys, with a disastrous performance and a near loss against Houston. Dak Prescott week in and week out throwing 2 horrible picks. I can't wait to bet against the Cowboys in the playoffs. Unless, of course, they somehow play the Vikings, and then what the fuck are we doing? But everything in this, to me, everything about this game says take the Jaguars. And that is solely why I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, so I'm going to take the Jags. We have next up is a game I got on you last week, or a team I helped gain a pick on you. Texans, who are always big dog. Texans worst record in the NFL, 1-11. They're at home against the Chiefs. Chiefs are 14-point favorites. I'll go first. So here's my thought on this. They almost won the Cowboys game last week. That was their Super Bowl. The Chiefs blew a 27-point lead. They hear all the critics. I think the Chiefs bounce back and just smoke them.
This Texans team, they're the landlord after college kids move out of a house. Every hole I have, they have filled. They have fucked my ass, mouth, nose, ears. I can't believe how many times I was riding the fucking Texans. They're fucking blowing games. I get off. I get on board. They start fucking doing it. Then I ride the Texans again. Suddenly Davis Mills is out with fucking whatever, and Kyle Allen's in the game. I get back off of them. They fucking almost beat the Cowboys last week. And I'm certain that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win this game by 27 points. For that reason, I'm taking the Texans.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't wait for them to ruin my life. I could see the Cowboys and Texans together, since I shit all over Texas recently, just being my undoing once and for all.
No prayer, no curse, man.
Watch both Texas teams fuck me.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a statement game for the Chiefs to be like, hey, we are legit. We're gonna play good defensively. That's where they have to step it up this game.
Kansas, fucking they're in Texas. They're gonna be in Houston. Fucking Travis Kelce's not gonna be out at the bar till 5 a.m. Where's he gonna go? Applebee's closes at fucking 11. You know what I mean? Was he gonna be drinking at the IKEA fucking snack bar? They get
shots fired.
Even fucking Jackson Mahomes isn't coming to fucking Houston. By the way, can we talk about that? What an off season. That's honestly why Patrick Mahomes is still my MVP leader. What an off season move. Just he literally sits down his wife and his fucking brother on a couch, just the two of them. And I assume has, OJ Mahomes come in with a knife and be like, if you guys go to the games, I'm going to fucking cut your head off.
Or did their dad step in? At some point was the dad like, okay, enough is enough. This is my family. I'm
OJ Mahomes. Wouldn't be my first time killing a blonde lady.
Oh, that's a great business. That's what OJ should do.
Yeah. Wouldn't be my first time killing a blonde lady and an unemployable man.
It actually has a nice flow to it. Interventions with OJ.
Yeah.
Like it's like a smooth flow to it.
Hello, Brittany. OJ Mahomes here.
The thought of OJ sitting down people. You're not going to be showing up to games no more.
I brought Kato with me.
He's going to open with 5 minutes of jokes.
Kato, tell Jackson Mahomes how you're not going to have a career if you're just known as the guy hanging out with the other guy.
Oh, man.
Nicole here. She going to tell you what's going to happen to you, Brittany. I'm going to hold her head like a sock puppet.
OJ, the gift. Still unverified for the record. I mean,
honestly, I thought for sure Elon Musk would have verified him. Do you think he's not verifying him because he's black? He's not black. He's OJ.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, what are we doing here?
Dude, are you following the Elon Musk day to day?
I am.
The Elon jet thing. I mean, I gotta say, I've never really been a fan nor not a fan of it. Like I didn't really have an Elon Musk opinion ever. I was like, okay, Tesla's. I've driven one. It's pretty cool. But this guy, so his week has been getting booed off stage at a fucking Chappelle thing,
which was like whatever for me.
right? But then I don't even know if it's related to the Twitter owning and the people booing him, but Tesla stocks take a dive. And then in the least savvy business move of all time, he sells Twitter stock while it's down. He posts about not banning the Elon jet, then he bans the Elon jet, then he unbans the Elon jet, then he bans the Elon jet again. Like, dude,
Well,
maybe just like take a day off.
Yeah, I think I've been a fan
And
of a
then
lot of his stuff.
and then comes back with, you can't tweet about where people are anymore. That was maybe the wildest take of all time.
So I guess technically, from everything I've read, that's always been before he owned it, is in giving location. I guess that's technically a violation of the rules.
Right. But we both agree that this has to do with his jet account, right?
100%.
Which is public information and can be tracked. The guy wasn't even tweeting it. It was a bot that was doing it.
So
I think the verification has turned yellow. Do you see if you click on it now, there's legacy verification? I'm apparently a legacy verification. I may or may not be notable, according to Elon Musk.
So I didn't know. I didn't follow this stuff lately. So like, here's my thing. I think he just needs to, I agree. I think he needs to chill out. I think he says, my take is that he gets a thrill off having this many followers and he just goes off the cuff when they're not prepared. Now maybe I'm naive. I think in the long run he will be better for Twitter. The Tesla thing, the stock's been tanking. I think he's a smart guy, but who knows? Dude, you never know with these people. These people are, these billionaires are eccentric. They're crazy. I don't know. I think I follow it closely. Like I've read every single Twitter files thing, which one is like no surprise to me.
I honestly, it's no surprise to me because all that information was already out there.
But not all of it was. Not all of it.
That's all repurposed information.
No, I disagree. I don't think a lot of like
the texts and the messages that were going back and forth at Twitter weren't out there.
But like I didn't know the FBI was legit meeting with Twitter execs and Homeland Security and all these things. I think, I don't know what an answer is for all this because we live in such a hyper polarizing political world. You know what I'm saying? Like where people make decisions politically. Where I would argue
the thing to remember is like that anything that you think is like user information, like the idea of Twitter is you're being able to read what you want from the people that you want. I mean, we're 10 years removed from Facebook getting fucking sued about this shit. Like this is like anything that you think from a news organization to obviously a fucking social media thing. The algorithm shows you what it wants, and then also they decide to show you what you want. Here's a fun fact, Andy. I don't know how much you've been on Instagram lately, but I have a joke, and I do it in my act. But I did the joke on the golf course. I have a golf joke that ends with a punchline about Taylor Swift.
They say,
yeah.
I put it on Instagram and I put it on TikTok. The joke, the TikTok that I put up got banned for multiple people said it violated TikTok rules multiple times.
So what did it violate?
Nothing. It violated upsetting Taylor Swift fans that will then go say this violated some shit. And you get enough of those and then suddenly it's banned, and I had to unban it, and then it got banned again, and then I had to unban it. And you're like, this is how it works, guys. When you're on one of these social media sites, the people alone can have things suppressed by saying, enough people say I don't like it.
But that's a problem. Don't you think that's a problem?
Yeah, of course it's a problem. But what are you going to do? Elon Musk fired fucking half the staff. So what are you having a human being read each and every violation?
Well, I think he trimmed the fat. I think his firing was smart. Look, I think you have to get rid of.
But my point is, Andy, is none of these companies can have human beings that actually read each and every thing. So if you want something banned, you can just say it, because a robot will say 25 people say this is bullshit. He doesn't know it's just pissed off Taylor Swift fans, and I didn't even say anything rude. And now every TikTok I've put up since then, low numbers. So it's like literally Taylor Swift fans, by hating me, have suppressed my fucking TikTok account.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a problem.
Right. Of course it's a problem. But I'm saying this is the way the world works now. You don't trust TikTok or Twitter or Facebook
I don't trust it.
to give you the fucking rules, to give you the news,
I don't trust
to give you what's actually happening in the world.
I don't trust anybody at this point.
Right. I'm just saying, people being like, Twitter's not telling you the truth. It's like, motherfucker, the fact that you thought it was is kind of sad.
Sure. No, I don't trust any of them. And they all have their own objectives, and they all have their own bias. And
it's just also, it's weird. Like, I think the weirdest part of this thing is I never thought we would have so many like billionaire fanboys that are like, why are you an Elon Musk stan? That's weird to me. Who gives
I think just from all the other stuff, I think from SpaceX and Tesla and things he's done.
You know when I sold all my Elon Musk stock? When he was pumping Dogecoin and I was making a ton of money, and then he appeared on SNL, did the worst job ever, came off as the cringiest fucking dork in history.
I mean, but that's what he is. You know, guy's got Asperger's.
I know, but I'm saying you can be a guy like Elon Musk, SpaceX, Tesla. You can be cool by not existing. And he's not smart enough to be aware of that. The only thing that tanks Elon Musk is literally people getting to know him.
Well, I think he for sure is, just based off everything I read. He's putting. I agree. He's putting himself out there too much. But I also don't understand like the hate. Like this was a guy who was just a few years like,
bro. And I can't, like, if Joe Burrow went on stage with Dave Chappelle and duffed "I'm rich, bitch" as hard as Elon Musk did, you'd be betting against the Bengals this week.
Yeah, but again,
he'd be like, well, that was the cringiest shit of all time. We were literally betting against Patrick Mahomes because Jackson Mahomes was Elon Musk.
But he's always been cringe. My point is, Elon's always been cringe. Like the first time he ever, like his first quote unquote pop culture thing, right, was when he went on Joe Rogan and smoked a blunt.
I know, and couldn't handle like the face meme.
And you and I were together. Actually, I don't know if you remember. We were in Chicago. That was 2018. It was September 2018. Like, he's always, when I listen to him any long form, like he's always been tough to listen to. Like,
right.
He doesn't have that personality. So I find it funny though, how everybody gets like people who on the other side, like who hate him, or people who like, we live in such a weird world where,
but he's the world's richest Russell Wilson. It's like,
but I wouldn't say that because he's a cheat things.
Game manage. Yeah, but I'm saying sit back there, do what you do. Let Tesla keep fucking running, build a fucking rocket ship.
I think he's brilliant. I think as far as like his mind, I think he's brilliant as far as like what he's trying to do, things he wants to do. I think he has like, that is a fact, right? IQ wise, he's brilliant.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know
actually,
if
I have no idea. I don't know anything.
he is, and I don't know if Twitter's going to work out. I don't know. Did they need to try something new? 100%. For everyone who's like bitching, guys, I'm not the most savvy businessman, but when you've lost money 8 out of 10 years, you have to try something. Whether it's going to work, I don't know. But you can't keep doing what you're doing if you're continuing to lose money. Now, they lost all these advertisers now for sure. Are they going to get them back? Is he going to make up the difference in Twitter subscriptions? Who knows? I also think he could just be trolling everybody. Who knows?
You think Russ is trolling everybody?
Russ could have a team trolling people.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I think I'm Rick Bitts is Broncos country. Let's ride. This is the year of like full on dynasties getting undone just by guys unaware of their own cringe factor.
But also, like, there's part of me that thinks maybe him and Chappelle are like fucking with people.
Dude, what I don't even know what that looks like. What does it mean fucking with people?
Well, because Chappelle ended up riffing on people, right? Like after everything happened. Like I don't know. I mean, you never know. But again, like people who have such strong feelings either way.
I had no opinion of the guy until literally
is ridiculous.
SNL, and now it's just like, God, but he gives me Russ vibes. And we all know how I feel about Russ. Elon Musk is Russell Wilson.
No, I wouldn't say that though.
Hall of Fame career being derailed by just epic cringeness.
But that's my point. The
Michael Jordan security thing he did after Rick James, I'm Rick James, bitch, on stage was Russell not getting high fives.
He's always been cringe. That's my point. Like Elon's, like I said, we were talking about something 4 years ago. We've known how cringe he's been.
Yeah.
How uncomfortable he is to listen to at times. I think at least for his sake, he just does things on the cuff on his own. Whereas Russ has a whole team telling him to do stuff.
Like Russ, Elon Musk needs a wristband of how to act in public.
But I'll say this, for all the people complaining, then just get off Twitter, guys. To me, there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse or more hilarious than somebody making an announcement that they're getting off Twitter. Get off.
I'll never get off Twitter because I love, to me, you know me, I love a good train wreck. I love the triggered liberals. I love the triggered liberals. I love the hypocrite conservatives. Of course, Elon Musk's jet tail numbers should be private. Now, if you don't show me a picture of Hunter Biden's dick, I'm storming the Capitol.
Yeah, everyone's a hypocrite. And obviously Elon is too. He shouldn't have said that. I also personally, I don't think that stuff should be, regardless of this, whether it's him or anyone else's stuff, I don't think that should be public.
Well, take that up with the FAA.
Yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I shouldn't be allowed to know anybody's flight status, especially if they have that much money, whether it's him or any other celebrity. Like, there's too many lunatics out there. I just don't think that's safe. Now, granted, you can find where people are. I mean, I know where Ethan lives. It's not difficult to find. Okay, we should get back to some of these picks. You were just sitting on that Elon Musk as Russell Wilson, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. That actually came to me in the moment.
I think that's disrespectful, Elon Musk.
Oh, wow. The ultimate Russell Wilson stan.
I just think Russ is that cringe. Like, And again, I don't know if it's a cop out. The guy has Asperger's. Like, what's Russell Wilson's excuse?
I don't know. Maybe he has Asperger's.
Not sure about that one, but I might title it the episode.
Also, I does
It
like
flows well.
I don't want to. I watch Love on the Spectrum. I don't want to go throwing out Asperger's. I don't know anything about Elon Musk. I don't know if he actually does or doesn't. I mean, he certainly seems on the spectrum.
Yeah. Oh, he does. He for sure does. All right. Speaking of the spectrum, we have the Cardinals versus the Broncos and our boy Russ.
Yes.
Russ is not playing though. Right?
I mean, what would the Broncos be doing?
So Denver's 2.5.
That Russell down on the ground after that hit, he's looking like Elon smoking a joint. Like his eyes were all fucking weird. He was unsure how you breathe. He was like overthinking breathing. In, out, in. No, wait, fuck.
So who's playing quarterback? We have Colt McCoy for the Cardinals now that Kyler Murray's out for the year. Another running quarterback down. The Colts, or I'm sorry, not the Colts. The Broncos are 2.5-point favorites. Who's playing for the Broncos?
It's a great question.
Like, I don't even know who their backup is.
Russell Wilson is questionable. I think it was Rippon. Brett Rippon. Is that right?
The nephew of Mark Rippon?
Brett Rippon. If Russell Wilson doesn't play on Sunday, Jarrett Garantano will be the backup quarterback to Brett Rippon.
Okay, well, look, who's up? Me or you?
That's a great question, Andy.
Who picked the Chiefs Texans?
You did.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
So you're up. I know who I'm taking, so doesn't matter what you take.
Oh, man. Are you taking? I feel like I know who you're taking. I'm taking the Broncos.
Okay, I'm saying you're correct because I'm taking the Cardinals.
Yo, let's go! Let's go, Brett Rippon.
He's gonna win. Got a lot of different picks this week.
I mean, this to me, this is backup quarterbacks. This is, tailspin teams, full disasters all across the board here. Coaches on hot seats. I'm simply going, it's in Denver.
Okay. All right. Raiders. Patriots in Las Vegas. Vegas is 1-point favorite. I'm up first. I think the Patriots win because they're still in playoff contention and they have to win.
What did Vegas do last week?
I believe they won. No, they lost to the Rams.
That's right. Oof. This is tough. This is tough because the Raiders can score some points. Oh, man. This is tough because, and they're week to week. They're so shitty. I mean, it makes me want to take the Patriots as well because obviously you've got the Josh McDaniel, Bill Belichick factor. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Pats. Oh, I can taste taking the Raiders.
Take it then.
I'm not going to. I think it is the Pats.
All right, 2, 7, and 6 teams next up. Titans, Chargers. In Los Angeles, Chargers coming off that nice game are 3-point favorites.
By the way, the last game you had, it was Raiders were 1 point
Correct.
favorites. Okay. Yeah, I'll take the Pats. What's the next game?
Titans, Chargers. Chargers are 3-point favorites. It's in LA. Both teams 7 and 6. Titans are in just a tailspin.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm gonna take the Chargers. I'm gonna ride a surging Chargers team. I shouldn't do it. Coaching disadvantage all over the place here.
3 in a row. Just 3. And by the way, 3 games that, like, besides the Bengals game, like 3 games where they just get dominated. The Titans.
Yeah. Do you believe in this Chargers team at all?
No.
You don't.
No.
You don't think this Chargers team has a run in them? You don't think they win a playoff game? No.
Nope. Not at all.
I don't know. They're just so goddamn talented.
There's so many injuries. 1 week, one good game doesn't do shit for me. No way.
Right.
No way.
So you're taking the Titans?
I don't know. The Titans have looked bad. The Titans have burned me now 3 weeks in a row. All 3 losses I have them covering. They've burned me 3 in a row. So for that reason, I just can't do them again. They'll burn me again this week. I'm not gonna get burned 4 weeks in a row of taking them. I'm just not. So I'm gonna take the Chargers. All right, here's an interesting one. Bengals, Bucks in Tampa Bay. Bengals are 3.5. And we have a call. Somebody is annoyed with you and I.
About what do we do now?
We're jinxing them, apparently.
Jinxing who?
You'll hear.
Is it Randy?
No.
Hey, boys. Ron from Louisiana here. Just calling in with a simple request for both of you. Stop fucking talking about Burrow for MVP.
I have
I'm
not.
the one that had the Lions bet and the Dolphins Super Bowl bet. And ever since I called in, the Lions were 1-5. I had them at under 5.5. They just won their 6th game. Please, for the love of God, do not mention Burrow MVP. I need it.
So,
Please.
so he called in the beginning of the year, like he was like, I got Burrow MVP.
Hold on a second. Hold on. First of all, I have never said that Joe Burrow is back in the MVP race.
No, you had him right with me at number 3.
And I also said, if you listen to that, what does that even mean? I said, it doesn't mean that you can only one guy can win MVP. I have never had Burrow sniffing the award. Okay. So first of all, leave me out of it. Second of all, you had Lions under. You called the gloat when they were 1-5, and then they go on a run. Maybe you're fucking cursed. Thanks for cursing our fucking Lions bet with your fucking phone call. I have never had Burrow in the MVP conversation. You can go back and listen. I said, starting slow, you're going to have games where everybody else shits the bed, or else you're not going to catch somebody that plays consistent throughout the year. It's so much tougher to come back. He would have to just be, and there's a potential for it, but I just think you're not going to have a total disaster Jalen Hurts or a total disaster Patrick Mahomes.
I don't even think, well, first of all, I have him tied with Mahomes right now. The numbers are just both right. Like right there. One has one more win. One played better against the other. I know they don't technically play against each other, but you guys know. I've heard a lot about Burrow's appearance. Obviously, everybody's talking about it here on the Manning cast. And everybody's saying how boring he was and snooze fest. And if you're a Bengals fan, then you should like that. Everybody was complaining about that here. Like, oh, Burrow's so lame. He's so boring. And they're asking him his favorite nickname. And he's like, I'll let the people decide. Guys, like, I think it's obvious from that Manning cast. That should make you like him more if you're a Bengals fan. or if you're just a quarterback fan. All he's got carries.
Was he on this week, Manning?
Yeah.
I didn't get to see the Manningcast this week, and I wish I've been desperate to find a way to rewatch it because also I think Simmons was on, right?
He was. So Eli goes over all his nicknames and he's like, which is your favorite? And Joe just says, that's for people to decide. I don't care. And like, that was one of those answers where people were like, lame. And I'm like, you could just see. And by the way, I don't think Burrow's lame. I just think he's like, you'll see in the interview, he's very cool and calm. And he just like, he's just a football quarterback. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
he didn't give anybody anything. I think people were annoyed about that. And I'm like, you could see him with these guys. He just wanted to talk football.
Right.
Like it was genuine. Like you look at his face and you hear what he's saying. He just wants to talk football with Eli and Peyton. And like, you should love that actually, if you're a fan of the Bengals.
Yeah.
3.5 is tough. I think here's the thing. I think Bucks are going to come back. Everybody's sitting on, they lost 35-7. They actually have a good defense. They do.
Yeah.
Problem is their offense can't score. Like, I'm shocked. I'm on Prize Picks right now. The more or less passing yards for Tom Brady's 265.5, which is the same for Joe Burrow. I would for sure say less for Brady on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. This opened at 4. It's down to 3.5. Who's up first? Me?
Yeah, because I took Chargers.
This is a tough one. I can see like a 23-17 Bengals win, or like 21-16 Bengals win.
Those are 5 and 6 point games.
They are. But I also wouldn't be shocked if the Bengals lost. Like, I just don't think they have 4 games left: at Bucks, at Pats, home against the Bills, home against the Ravens. Like, are they going to go 9 straight to end the year? It's a pretty tall task. I think they win their last 2 home games. I think they beat the Bills, and I think they beat the Ravens, which makes me think they're going to lose either this week or next week to New England. I'm going to go, fuck it, Bengals win and cover.
You've done this every fucking week. You tell us why the Bengals aren't going to do it, and then you pick them to win and cover.
I just keep thinking of that Bucs offense.
Yeah,
the Bengals D's legit.
I'm gonna take the Bengals to win and cover. I actually think that the Bengals win this game and the Pats game. I actually could see them losing one of those 2 games, especially if Lamar Jackson's back. Probably not if the thing's on the line. But like, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they lost the Monday night game that we're at. I won't care either way. I'll be rooting for Miller Lite, so I'll be there. I'll be there with newspaper under my feet like Walt. I don't care how cold it gets, Walt. I'm drinking beers.
Perfect. All right. So we're both taking the Bengals. All right. Giants, Commanders. You're up first for your team. You're 4.5 dogs.
So on paper, if you told me this game was that this was the line on this game, I would say bet the Giants money line. I would normally tell you to bet the Giants money line in this game, not at a Giants fandom necessarily, but also everything I know about the Giants, the way I told you they fucking lose that Lions game, the way I told you they'd fucking get blown out by that Eagles team, the way I told you all those things. This is a game that typically the Giants go down to DC and win the game. What's crazy about this is, and this isn't me calling foul. I know you've got to schedule 500 football games or whatever, but the insanity that the Commanders play the Giants, get a bye, and then play the Giants again, with the Giants having a game against another division team in between, is insanity. And for that reason and that reason alone, I'll take the Giants to cover, but I'm not sure they win this game.
The Giants keep burning me. You guys keep not covering. but it was an overtime game the first time, or no, tie the first time. 4.5's a lot. As much as the Giants keep burning me, like the Commanders aren't blowing anybody out. These are two teams that basically have.
By the way, I've already bet somebody. I didn't bet directly. I bet the Giants to win this game, knowing what I just told you. I think the Giants can win this game, and I think that it is a close game.
I don't know why it's 4.5 if they've.
I just told you. The last game Washington has played, they've spent 2 weeks watching their last tape.
I don't care. I'm gonna take the Giants to cover. All right, final game: Rams Packers Monday Night Football. It's in Lambeau. The Pack are 7-point favorites. It's a lot. Is Baker Mayfield starting again?
Probably. I mean, he didn't start last game.
True. Why is the spread so big?
It's in Lambeau. It's Monday night.
I don't care. I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, me too, sadly. I started off so fucking hot on different picks, and now I think in the end we settled into some similar ones.
Did you just see that text?
Yeah. Randy.
All right,
Randy's telling us about his Randy's Donuts. By the way, Randy Ruther, who must be listening, he listens regularly. Although it seems like he might be at Randy's Donuts. Whenever you do listen to this, the Randy's Donuts, I mean, there's something fire about those fucking coconut donuts. I've said it before. I'll say it again. If you ever visit Los Angeles, go immediately to the Randy's off of fucking Manchester. They put crack cocaine in that fucking coconut donut. It's so good. Coconut donut. I'll give you a Randy's Donuts order if you ever visit Los Angeles, guys. The Randy's in Manchester, I believe in Inglewood.
So they probably actually do put crack in it.
Yeah. Coconut donut. Yeah. They fucking Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush. They're like, start putting crack in the donuts. That's how we control the whole society. Get the coconut donut. Get yourself a ham and cheese croissant. Get yourself a cup of coffee in a fucking plastic souvenir cup at Randy's. Boom. That's it. That's the first thing you should do. Everybody goes, let's go to In-N-Out. Let's go to In-N-Out. Go to Randy's by the airport. That's how you should start your LA trip.
All right. And follow us on social at The Dirty Sports. I'm at Andy Ruther. Joe is at Joe Prano on Instagram and TikTok. Which won't show his videos.
Yeah, go like my ticket. Get me I don't want to say shadow banned. Get me unswifty banned on TikTok. Go like my latest TikTok. Get me unswifty banned. I'm at Joe Prano on all social media except for Twitter, where I'm still at Fix Your Life until I guess at Joe Prano gets banned for tweeting where he's at or something like that. Then maybe I'll finally take over that handle. And joeprano.com/shows. I'll be in Irvine this coming Tuesday for a comedy juice at the Irvine Improv. We've got a great show down at Minimal Golf Club. Our friends and once sponsor Minimal Golf Club in Redondo this Saturday. Got New York first week of January, Vegas third week of January, Wilmington, North Carolina at the Dead Crow Comedy Club. I believe everything's up on their site. If you're in Wilmington, North Carolina, shout out to our boy Smith, who I'm definitely going to see down there. Get your North Carolina tickets and just, generally stay on all my social media for more dates.
Word. All right, guys, that's our show. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you on Monday. And as always, stay dirty.